So let's come to this question. As you can see, this question came in the year 2016, and in the year 2016, IISc Bangalore, they conducted a GATE exam. Okay. So anyway, let's solve this question. So you see, it's a simple C programming is given, and they are asking for the output which will be printed. Okay, A, B, C, D are the options, and I hope that the options are clearly visible as well as the questions. Okay, so here you see the void main function is written here, and above it void count function has been defined. Fine. So let's solve this. So you see, let's start from the void main function. So in the void main function, count function has been called. Okay, count function has been called with a parameter value 3. Okay, so let me write here the solution. So count of 3. Fine. So count of 3. So count function has been called with the parameter 3. So let's come to the count function. Fine. So you see in the count function, what is the local variable? Int n is the local variable. Fine. N is the local variable which will receive the value 3. And for your convenience, let's give the address of this local variable as 100. Okay. Actually, it may not be required, but I'm just writing each and everything. Okay, so that you can clearly understand what I am doing. Fine. And you see, and also one static variable is also there. So what is static variable? Static variable is a variable which is initialized once. Okay, and the value will be retained till the end. Okay, so one static variable is, and I hope that you know the concept of static variable. Okay, one static variable d is also there. Its value is 1. Okay, and let's give the address 200. Okay, and now what's happening? Printf %dn. So whatever the value of n, that will be printed. So now 3 will be printed. So you see 3 has been printed. Okay, let me write here the output. 3 is printed. Okay, here I am writing the output. Fine. And after that, printf %d. This line has been executed. Now let's come to this line. Printf %d, then d. Now the value 1 will be printed. Okay. So 1 is printed. Fine. So here you see 1 is printed. And after that, you see there is a post increment operator. So what will happen here? Here the value of d will be incremented by 1. So it means what? D will become 2. Okay. So d will become 2. So let me rough this one. It has become 2. So we have executed till here. Now let's come to this line. If n greater than 1, then again count function will be called. So what is the value of n? 3. So 3 greater than 1. Yes, 3 is greater than 1. So since it's a true condition, so count of n minus 1 will be called. Okay. So now count of n minus 1 will be called. So what is the value of n? 3. So n minus 1 will be 2. So count of 2 will be called. Okay. Okay. And after that, you see there is a printf %d of d. So after that, the value of d will be printed. But let's not do it right now. At first, we will finish this execution. After that, we will print the value of d, because you know the value the d is a static variable. Okay, so the final value of d will be printed. Okay, because in the static variable, what happens? The value is written. Okay, don't worry, I will come to it later. Okay, so now you see here count of 2. it means what we have executed till this line. Okay. So now count of 2 has been called here. Fine. So now again, let's come to the count function. Okay. So now for this count of 2, what will happen? A local variable n is there. Okay. So for this count function, okay, just wait. Yes. For this count function, a local variable n is there. So let me write here. Okay. So for this count function, a local variable n is there. Okay. And whose address is say 300. Fine. And what value it will receive? 2. Okay. Then static int d equal to 1. Okay. Now just listen carefully. D is a static variable and it has already been initialized. Okay. So now you cannot reinitialize it. Okay. D is a static variable. It had already been initialized here. So now it has become 2. So now you cannot further reinitialize it as D is equal to 1. Now you cannot write it like this. Like D, it will be given an address like 400 and it will become 1. No. Whatever the value of D we are getting, that value will be retained till the end. We cannot remove this value and again make the value of D as 1. No. Okay. Because what happens in the static variable, it's in the memory location, one space has been created for D. Okay. So whatever the value will be updated, it will reflect here. Okay. Here we are not creating the variable again and again. Okay. So a single D has been initialized and whatever the value we will update, it will reflect here. Initially it was 1, then it became 2. Okay. Now static, so just forget this part. Okay. Now because the value of D is 2. Okay. So now printf %dn. So printf %dn means what? The value of n will be printed, that is 2. And after that, you see, let's write here 2. And after that, printf %dd. So what is the value of D? The value of D is 2. So now 2 will be printed. Okay. Then D++. So now D++ means what? The static variable D will become 3, from 2 to 3. But it will be incremented by 1. So it will become 3. Fine. So now let's come to this line. If n greater than 1. So is n greater than 1, 2 greater than 1? Yes. So now if this condition is true, so count of n minus 1. So now count of n minus 1 means what? N is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. Fine. So since this function has been called, so cursor will jump here. Okay. So don't come here right now because the execution of this part is remaining. Okay. So count of 1. Okay. It means what? We have executed till here. Till this line. Fine. So now count of 1. Again, the count function is called here. So now, again, you see here, int n. It means what? A local variable for this count function, n is there and it will receive the value 1. Okay. And its address is say 400. Okay. You see, this n, this and this n are completely different. This n is local to this function, this n is local to this function, and this n is local to this function. Okay. But D is common for all the function because the D is a static variable. Okay. And it is initialized only once. But here you see the value of n is getting initialized again and again, like here. Fine. Now, so printf %dn. Okay. So now 1 will be printed as the value of n is 1. Printf %dd. So here 1 is printed. Okay. 3, 1, 2, 2 has been printed now. 3, 1, 2, 2, and also one is printed. Okay, and also printf percent %d. What is the value of d? 3. 3 is the value. Okay, for d. And again after that you see d plus plus. It means what? The value of d is incremented by 1. So the value of d will become 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. Let's write 4 here. Fine? Yeah. And after that you see, let's come to the next line. If n greater than 1. So is n greater than 1? What is the value of n? What is the value of n for this function? 1. Is 1 greater than 1? No. It means what? This condition is false. So since this condition is false, so obviously count function will not be called here. Okay. So since this is false, so let's come to the next line. Printf percent %d. So printf percent %d means what? What is the value of d? The value of d is 4 now this time. Okay. So the value of d is 4. So till now, what are the values that are printed? 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3, 4. Okay. You see here, I have not solved the question completely, but after solving just half of the question, you can guess that option A is correct. Okay. Because you see 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 4, it is present only in option A. Okay, so option A is correct. But okay, let's solve it completely. Fine. So you see here, yeah. So now 4 is printed. So it means what? Count 1 function is over. Okay, because count 1 has executed all its line. Like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So count 1 function is over. Okay. So since this function is over, okay, so let's go to the upper function. I mean to say count 2. Okay. So count 2, you see, count 2 executed till this line. Because you see count 2 called here count of 1, that is 2 minus 1, 1. Count 2 called count 1, and after that count 2 did not execute this line. So since this line is left for count 2, so count 2 will execute this line. Fine. So what is this line? Printf percent %d. So what is the value of d? The value of d is 4. Okay, the value of d is 4. So let's print here 4. Fine. Okay. So here I will write 4. Another 4 is printed. Okay. Let's write n here separately, else you will get confused. Fine. So now you see, count 2 has executed this line. It means what? Count 2 has done its task. Count 2 has executed this line, this line, this line, this line, and this line. Okay. So since count 2 has executed all its line, so now count 2 task is over. So now let's move to count 3. Okay. So now let's move to count 3. So count 3 executed till here. Okay, because you see what count 3 did. Count 3 printed the value of n, that is 3. After that count 3 printed the value of d, that is 1. And after that count 3 and after that count 3 called count 2. But after that here count 3 didn't do anything. It means what? This part is left for count 3. So what is this? Printf percent %d. So what is the value of d? 4. Okay. So here 4 will be printed. Fine. So now another 4 is printed. So just check the option. Option A is correct because the values that are printed is 31221344. 31221344. So option A is the correct option. Fine. You see, here the static variable has played a major role in this question. If this variable would not have been static, it would have been a simple local variable, then you would have got something different answer. Okay, so be careful, be thorough with the concept of static variable. Fine, else you will get the wrong answer. Okay, so let's move to the next question. Thank you.